So today I want to talk about what it takes to get what you want, what it takes to get what you want in life or to be who you ultimately want to be. And this has been coming up a lot for me in coaching calls with clients, in like strategy calls where I talk with people for free. There's a link to that up here in terms of helping them get clarity around what they want and helping them set goals and set a vision for themselves. So this has been coming up a lot. And what I mean by that is a lot of people, hi Jay, are very frustrated with the pace at which they are not hitting their goal, or there's something that they want to do or change in their life and they're frustrated with the fact that they haven't gotten there yet, they haven't achieved it. And what's coming up in conversations with people is, quite honestly, that people aren't really doing everything that it takes to get what they want. They're not doing everything that it takes to be that person they say they want to be. And so that's what I want to talk about today, is what does it actually take to hit those big goals in life, to make that big change or that transformation in your life, okay? So I'm going to use my example of, I can use a bunch of examples, but I'm going to use one example that has to do with weight loss and healthy lifestyle and all of that. But before I do that, I want you guys to type in the comments, if you would be so courageous and vulnerable, to share what's the one thing in your life right now that you have really wanted for a long time but haven't been able to achieve it. And it doesn't have to be, something like money or something like that. It could be something about yourself. Maybe it's a relationship or something like that. But what is it that you really want in your life that's been eluding you? Or what kind of person do you want to be that you feel like you still haven't been able to become? Whether that's a dedicated person, whether it's an active, healthy person, whatever it is. If you could share that with me in the comments, I would so appreciate that. So my name's Jessica Perez-Beebe. I am a coach. I have been a coach for more than a decade, and I'm multi-certified. And the bottom line is I help people create change and transformation in their life. Okay, so very successful, motivated people come to me when they tend to be stuck in one specific area still. And that's what we unpack and help them move towards. Okay, so what are you stuck at in your life? What are you stuck at? What is it that you want to achieve? So here's an example I can share with you that can kind of make this tangible for you. There was a certain point in my life, I believe I was about 19 or 20 years old, when it became very clear to me that I was somebody who, that I wanted to have a better lifestyle than the lifestyle that I was living in and that I grew up in and that I was surrounded by. And one of the biggest things that stuck out to me had to do with health. So my grandparents had diabetes. Nobody in my immediate family and in my circle was healthy. And I saw how that negatively impacted their life, and I didn't want that for myself. Okay, so I didn't have an example of how to be healthy. I was about 20 pounds overweight, more or less. I had just had unhealthy habits. I wasn't doing any kind of exercise. I didn't play any sports in high school. And so it was in that moment I decided, you know what, I want to be one of those people that really has a healthy lifestyle, that has a healthy family and they do active things. And wow, look at them, they're hiking and, that girl's, got nice shapely arms and, she's got energy, she can run. I just started looking around me outside of my environment and started to see that there was another possibility for me. So it became something that I really wanted for myself. Now, the reason I share that little backstory is because a lot of people that I talk to, they get stuck in the fact that what they want for themselves, whether it's a healthy, passionate marriage, whether it's a fit lifestyle or fit body, whether it's wealth, whether they want to have financial independence, they get stuck in the fact that they didn't grow up like that, or they didn't have examples of it, and so they don't know how to do it, right? They get stuck in that past piece, in that story of why they can't do it or why they don't understand it. And so what I'm saying to you is, that's not a reason that you can't have what you want or be who you want to be. So the past is not a reason. What you were in the past or what you're born into, that has nothing to do with who you can become and what you can achieve. Do you guys agree with me there, so that we can get that part off the table? Because some people really get stuck in that piece. Okay, so I want you to know, I'm standing here right now today, a fit, healthy person who lives this fit, healthy lifestyle, but I wasn't that person 20 years ago when I decided that that was the person I was going to become. Okay, I wasn't that person then, and nobody around me was. So I didn't really know how it was going to happen. It didn't seem that plausible. It seemed really far off. It seemed impossible. But what I did is I started to create an environment around me that would support it. Great, you guys are with me. So I started to educate myself, right? I got as much information about, okay, what do I do? What does even eating healthy mean? I didn't even know what that meant, right? How do you even exercise, right? So I got some information, and I didn't get stuck in the information. A lot of people are stuck there. You don't need more information. I just started quickly doing stuff, right? So figuring it out, practicing, trial and error, and creating an environment that was conducive to a healthy lifestyle. I had to go outside of my family and my close personal friends to do this. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be a little bit uncomfortable to go where you're not, where it's not normal for you, right? It's not what you're used to. So you take those steps. And, so for me, I went to a yoga class, or joined a yoga center and went to classes every week. I ended up joining the gym and lifting weights. And the people that I met in those circles then started to be a part of my new environment that I created for myself. And the more I was around those type of people, the more that my energy also attracted those people. So there was consistency there. So for a couple of years, I was just trying all this stuff out, right? So then eventually I lost the weight. Do I just stop there? No, because my goal is to ultimately be this person who lives and breathes a healthy lifestyle, right? It wasn't just to be a person who lost weight. That's a goal. That's not a vision for your life, right? So losing 20 pounds is a piece of the smaller goal at that point that would help me to become a person who easily, automatically just lived a healthy lifestyle. Like it was a part of me, ingrained, right? So it's those habits that you create, and the consistency. If I can drill that in, you guys got me on that, the consistency. So then you hit certain goals, right? You lose the weight. You're able to run a mile or something like that. And then you take it to the next level. Okay, we're talking about doing everything it takes to get to where you want to be. So you don't just stop, you check that off, and then you up level. Okay, what's the next step for me? Eventually for me, it ended up being, I got certified, I became a trainer at my local gym. Eventually I started my own gym, right? And eventually I started competing in competitions. I became an athlete. All of these things it kept going, the next level, the next level, the next level. That's over years and a decade and more than a decade of doing what it takes, right? That's that consistency to where here I am today, a healthy, fit woman living a healthy, active lifestyle. And I've attracted it all around me, right? So I've attracted friends who have the same kind of lifestyle. I attracted a husband who has the same kind of lifestyle. Now we have that family that is active, healthy, and fit, right? But I wasn't that person when I decided that this was the person I was going to become. Does that make sense to you guys? I wasn't that person then. The only way I became this person is by doing all the little things in between consistently, keeping that up and taking it to the next level each time. If you are with me on that and you understand what I'm saying, throw me some likes or some hearts so I can feel your fire out there. Okay, Lynette, good, got you. Okay, cool. So the point is, you don't have to have it all figured out when you decide that this is who you want to become or what you want to do. You've just got to start doing it, be consistent, and keep doing what it takes. And being consistent doesn't mean that every single day in every single way you are perfect at everything and that you don't miss a beat. But it means that you keep going back. You keep getting up. You keep getting back in it. Okay, so another thing that comes up is language. So when I'm talking to people and they're stuck in this piece, one thing that I see that holds people back is the things that they say about themselves. So I want you to watch what it is you say about yourself. Okay, maybe you say, I'm always a procrastinator. I've always been a procrastinator. Even you can ask my mom, ha ha ha, that's who I am. Well, if that's who you want to continue to be, right? But it's only who you are if you make that choice, right? So a lot of times people, we, myself included, get these ideas about ourselves based on what people told us growing up. And we take it as fact, and we take it and we continue to prove it to be correct, right? That fulfilling prophecy. But the past is the past. The past is the past. It doesn't even exist. It's just a memory. So say you are someone who, for most of your life, showed up as a procrastinator. I'm going to do that then, and you never get to it. Okay, that's how you were. You were a procrastinator. You were last year, last month, last week, even yesterday. But yesterday was, period, right? So it's done. You get to make the choice going forward to start being in ways that are not supportive of a procrastinator, if that's part of who you want to become. If you want to become somebody who, sticks to their word and is dependable and follows through and achieves the things you set for yourself, all that starts with is your decision to do that. And then the consistency, right? So you have to watch what you say about yourself. Okay. And you also have to watch how much you're allowing others. I'm looking over here because I'm IG too. How much you allow others' opinions or facts. Everybody's got their facts, right? You've got to be careful of how much you let other people's opinions or facts influence you, right? So how often do you get off track for what you're trying to achieve or who you want to become because of what other people say or tell you about yourself? Okay, so for example, I've had so many people's opinions and facts thrown my way. Okay, so when I had the CrossFit gym and was doing CrossFit and was competing, everybody, had their opinion, right? It was too manly, it was too aggressive, it was too this, that, or the other. It wasn't, it wasn't real fitness, all of those things. That's their opinion and they're entitled to it, but it doesn't take me off of my greater vision of doing everything and experiencing as much as I can to adopt a healthy, fit lifestyle. When I did bikini bodybuilding, right? Everybody came out of the woodwork then. So then even the people that were like on my side as CrossFitters, then they also came out against, oh, now you're too skinny and, that's not healthy. And, friends, family, everybody. But when you are committed to who you want to become or what you want to achieve, none of that shit matters. Even if it bothers you for a second, it's like in and out because you're so seated and so rooted and grounded in who you're becoming. Your vision belongs to you, nobody else, right? That's part of doing everything that it takes to get where you want to be. That means, ignoring the opinions of others. It means taking it on the chin. It means not getting sidetracked by the shiny object syndrome of, oh, well, they said this about what I'm doing, so maybe I'll do it this way, right? You've got to be grounded. You've got to be confident enough to stand for yourself. Take a stand for your dreams. Take a stand for what it is you're trying to do and become. So one of the ways that I like to coach people around this is, if there is something that you have been trying to pursue, and you kind of give up, you quit early, or you talk yourself out of, or you just feel stuck around, but in your heart, you really want it. One of the tools that I like to teach people is based in law of attraction, and it really works, okay? So envision the person that you would be if you have whatever it is you want, right? So in my case, it was, in this example, I envision myself 20 pounds lighter, not just lighter, but fit and vibrant and healthy. And I pictured myself eating all these healthy foods and liking them. I pictured myself, hiking. I pictured myself swimming, I knew how to swim, but I wasn't a swimmer. I've done all these things in fitness that were really scary and intimidating to me, because I did whatever it took to become who I am today, right? So when I had that vision of myself, then I stepped back into the present moment and said, how would the fit, healthy, vibrant Jessica, how would she act? What words would she use? What would she talk about? What would she say about herself? Who would she hang out with? What would she do? And I'm big on writing, because it's proven that when you write things, your chance is more than 50% greater of that sinking in and you achieving it. So I write down everything. So if you're going to do this, I suggest that you write it down. So this is a great journal exercise. What does that girl look like? What does she say? What does she say about herself? What does she say to others? Where does she hang out? What does she eat? And I started to do, say, and be those things, right? So I wasn't there yet, but I got to start acting like her, my future self, right? It's the same thing for you. What is it that you're trying to become? Who is it that you want to be? What is it that you want to accomplish? Envision yourself there, and how would you act then? What would you say about yourself? So for that person that I said, maybe you think of yourself as a procrastinator. What's the bigger vision for yourself? This girl who achieves everything, finishes what she starts, and just, is known for being a go-getter and standing by her word. If that's your vision for yourself, start asking yourself day to day, well, what would she do in this situation? And start doing it. Start practicing being the person that you want to become. Because you can't get to that go-getter person who hits her goals and, doesn't quit on herself if you're stuck in that conversation with yourself and that story of yourself about being a procrastinator and, never getting anything done. And you're stuck in that energy, even if you're just making light of it sometimes, right? So be careful what you say, how you say it, what you do, and ask yourself every day, when you're thinking about that one thing that it is that you really want. Ask yourself if you're doing everything you can to get it. Where is there space for you to do more? It could be in asking for help, right? So if you've been trying to do a certain thing yourself for 10 years and it hasn't worked, clearly the next step for you could be to reach out to somebody else who already has achieved that or accomplished that, to help you, right? That could be the next step for you. Because what you've got to tell yourself, and this is what I kept telling myself, you know, when I couldn't even, you know, I was a smoker and I was overweight. So, you know, there were all these things against me. And, you know, everybody in my family was like, what are you exercising for? You know what I mean? So in those moments, I had to tell myself, if other people can do it, I can do it, right? If she did it, if she's living it, obviously there's a way. So if you're stuck in something right now and you haven't figured it out on your own, you have to remind yourself, wait a minute, other people have done it. So obviously there's just something I don't know. Stop trying to do it on your own if that is you. Okay, so I hope something here helped you. I see that there's comments. I'm going to go through after we log off, respond to everyone personally. And if anything comes up after we log off, or if you're watching the replay, please post your comments and questions. I always get alerts, and so I go back and check. Thank you so much for joining me here. There's a link to a free Get What You Want strategy call with me up in the description. If you want to hop on the phone with me, I have some openings. I think tomorrow, and definitely next week. And I would love to help maybe you get some clarity around that. Otherwise, share this on your pages, share it with a friend. Thanks for coming. I'm going to be here again this time next week, Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern. Bye, guys. Happy Valentine's Day. I forgot to say Happy Valentine's Day.